From the Texas Hill Country to the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, wild hogs are turning the American countryside into a battlefield. Not native, they were introduced in the 15th century and now roam more than 35 states, breeding rapidly, with a single sow giving birth to up to 12 hoglets per litter. In Texas, they cause more than $118 million, 0 cents in damage each year, destroying corn crops and polluting water supplies, while also carrying the threat of African swine fever, which threatens the livestock industry. Warming climates are helping them spread, from Texas to neighbouring states like South Carolina and Georgia. Politically, wild hogs are at the centre of controversy. In Texas, the government promotes hunting through the USDA's National Wild Hog Management Program, spending millions of dollars to control the species. In Tennessee, by contrast, wild hogs are listed as pests with a ban on transporting or releasing them to prevent the spread of disease, causing tensions with neighbouring states that have different policies. In the heart of the Texas Hill Country, one farmer's bold vision is rewriting the war on wild hogs. The seasoned rancher has dedicated his life to digging a massive trench 6 feet deep and 10 feet wide around his 50-acre farm. It's not just a ditch, it's a beacon of hope, capturing wild hogs without resorting to extreme measures and leading them to a safe area where USDA Wildlife Services can relocate them. It's a humane revolution, saving crops and property. But digging by hand, it's a months-long ordeal, and too slow for an invasion of wild hogs. Now, backhoes have cut the construction time to days, cutting the cost to $20,000, 0 cents. That's a small price to pay when considering the millions of wild hogs knocked down each year. The mighty trenches of the Texas Hill Country are stopping wild hogs in their tracks, driving them away from crops without causing harm. But as their numbers continue to skyrocket, hunters are stepping in with a more precise weapon than bows and arrows. In Texas, bow hunting is a state-sanctioned tool for reducing wild hog populations. However, this is no Wild West, as strict laws require licenses, seasonal permits, and humane injections to keep things under control.
Golly.
Why so strict? Indiscriminate hunting can disperse wild hogs, spread African swine fever, and spark fights with animal rights groups.
Golly.
For you watching this video, you might find it more helpful to bow hunt to quickly reduce the population or to dig a pit to catch the wild hogs.
I reckon I'll nearly tie this off, man. Oh.
With trenches and bows keeping the line clear of wild hogs, Texas hunters have come up with a great new trap: the hog tube. Introduced around 2010, this clever PVC feeding tube keeps the entire wild hog detector firmly in place without touching other wildlife. Hunters drill small holes in a 4-inch PVC tube, stuff it with corn and chain it tightly. The corn is scattered and the sour-bait lures the hogs. When they push the tube, a few kernels of corn fall out, keeping them hooked for hours. A bell signals their arrival, alerting hunters to legal shooting or trapping. It's simple to set up tubes 200 yards apart, use game cameras to track movement, and always check local laws for permits. This method has caught 15 wild hogs in one night. Not huge, but it's helped people eradicate pests. Wild boars are a growing threat in Texas, not only hurting farmers but also attacking infrastructure from suburban to urban areas. With their feral instincts, they have caused millions of dollars in economic damage. Small businesses, from grocery stores to restaurants, have been affected as the invasive species disrupts business. They also rummage through trash, making the area unsanitary and spreading disease. According to the US Department of Agriculture, the wild boar population in Texas has grown by nearly 30% each year and costs the economy up to $1.5 billion annually. Despite the government's efforts to install sealed trash cans, the situation has not been able to reduce the number of wild boars. The like button if you've ever been in that situation. When wild boars became America's nightmare. In the quiet of a Texas cornfield, the screech of steel wire rings out as a giant mesh trap closes in on a pack of destructive wild boars. Dozens are trapped in a matter of seconds. This isn't a scene from an action movie, but part of a relentless effort by American farmers to combat the country's most dangerous invasive species. Why are crude nets replacing rifles and helicopters to solve a multi-billion-dollar-a-year agricultural crisis? The truth behind the seemingly simple snare trap. From Texas to Missouri, semi-automatic snare traps are becoming a strategic weapon that American farmers trust. They don't need ammunition, they just need a circular net, a steel stake, and a secret bait made of fermented corn mixed with gelatin. A scent that attracts wild pigs closer to the trap. Today's snare technology is more modern. Motion sensors, infrared cameras, and remote activation via phone help hunters proactively control when to close the trap, ensuring they catch the whole herd instead of just a few. What's special is that the success rate of snare traps at night is 50% higher, because that's when wild pigs are most active and less alert. When net traps are not just a tool but also a humane choice. What surprised many people was that net traps catch wild pigs alive and keep them for later transfer to invasive species control centres. In Texas, pregnant pigs or sows with young are not allowed to hunt, and if they violate, they will be severely punished. This is a testament to the effort to harmonise agricultural protection and ecological ethics. A veteran hunter in Arkansas once shared that they used to spend more than $1,500 for each helicopter hunt, but with net traps, they only need $200 and one evening to catch a whole herd. No gunfire, still effective. Therefore, the hunting community in the US began to have a new look at the net trap method. Comment number 1, if you think this is a smart form of hunting. However, not everyone agrees. Some animal protection organisations say that forcing wild boars into a small space can easily cause stress for them. Meanwhile, experts argue that compared to using ammunition, net traps do not pollute the environment, do not threaten other species, and reduce the risk of accidents. It is the only solution that can be deployed on a large scale, is cost effective, and still ensures effectiveness for small scale hunting. Now, I need your thoughts on this issue, please comment. In many cities across the United States, wild boars have become a serious threat as they invade residential areas, parks and golf courses, causing extensive damage to landscapes and infrastructure. Their powerful digging ability and flexible feeding habits destroy lawns and cemeteries, costing cities millions of dollars annually to remediate. This invasive species is also a potential threat to people when it suddenly appears in densely populated urban areas. Most recently, in March 2025 in a Houston suburb, a herd of 15 wild boars destroyed a community sports field and attacked a jogger, prompting the city to declare a state of emergency for wildlife control. many changes happened. And then an unexpected situation happened that no one saw coming in 2023. AI joined the fight. Using a brilliant combination of infrared cameras, motion sensors, and drones powered by artificial intelligence. The system can track and predict the movements of wild boars in real time. As soon as the AI detects a heat signature, it sends a signal to the hunter's device seconds before the herd attacks again. What started as a quiet technological experiment has become a command center for dealing with invasive species. They thought it was just another nighttime boar hunting until the bush exploded. A hunter stepped within 20 feet of a boar's territory. In the blink of an eye, it was on its way. This invasive species can reach speeds of over 45 miles per hour. But luck was on the hunter's side when he opened fire. Some say he was careless, others say it was just bad luck. But one thing is for sure, underestimating a boar hunting because of its rugged appearance is a mistake you only make once. Now let me ask you, would you trust technology to protect your land from a 300-pound animal charging at you at 30 miles per hour? And what would you do with a rifle in the dark? Defend or run? In 2023 alone, more than 1.5 million wild boars were knocked down in Texas, not by accident, but by AI-generated precision.
Mine's dead.
Trap success rates soared to over 60% simply by placing them in the right place at the right time. As one USDA official put it best, AI is not only saving us money, it's saving lives. That's the efficiency of wild boar hunting. Most states require a night hunting license, along with a standard hunting license, and, in some cases, a landowner's license and firearms certificate. Without a license, you could face fines, license suspension, or worse. But not everyone is on board with AI in this space. Critics say it could create a reliance on technology that disrupts natural ecosystems through constant surveillance by drones. Now Texas has some unique regulations when it comes to hunting these invasive species. If you hunt on private land with the landowner's permission, you can hunt them year-round and don't need a license. But with great freedom comes great responsibility. Always know your target and make sure you know what's off limits.
Here they are.
Neches River, WMA and Sam Houston National Forest allow hunting during designated seasons. Let's talk about weapons. When it comes to hunting wild boars, rifles are the weapon of choice for most hunters. The Remington 700 is a popular choice due to its accuracy and stopping power. Hunters also use thermal scopes and night vision devices to track wild boars at night when they are most active. Well, wild boars are nocturnal invasive species, making them harder to spot during the day. With the ability to detect heat signatures from up to 1,000 yards, these tools are essential for tracking boars in the dark, especially when you're hunting in the vast Texas brush, which stretches across 268,596 square miles. You need precision, and this technology gives you the edge. What do you think? Is using thermal scopes to track wild boars in the dark a breakthrough, or does it give hunters too much of an advantage? Share your thoughts in the comments. In Texas, you can use rifles, crossbows, and even helicopters for wild boar hunting. Helicopter hunting, a popular method in southeast Texas, allows hunters to cover large areas of land quickly. It's not uncommon for hunters to take out between 20 to 30 boars in a single flight. But helicopter hunting isn't without controversy. It's expensive, with each hunt costing anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, depending on the company and the duration of the hunt. Did you know? The population of wild boars is estimated to grow by 20 to 25% each year, which means hunting efforts need to ramp up even more. In 2025, Texas is expected to adjust its wild boar hunting policies. A proposal is on the table to increase regulations on helicopter hunting due to concerns about the environmental impact. This could include real-time updates of boar locations through tracking collars or the GPS devices on captured boars. Hello friends, let me take you to Madison County, Tennessee, a land as rich as the mouse farm stories have ever told you. But right now, in April 2025, these farms are under siege. The large, intelligent wild hogs have been ravaging the crops like a tornado. Wild boars have been getting past every trap, every fence for years. That's where my team comes in. I'm Jake Thornton, a 62-year-old farmer son turned tech repairman, and I have a crazy plan to save our field. No shotguns, no hunting dogs, just a DJI Mavic 3 drone equipped with speakers programmed by researchers at the University of Tennessee. Have you ever felt your heart race when you bet it all on a wild hog hunt? That's me right now, as my drone soars through the morning fog. This is for the farms, folks, I say. These wild hogs have cost Madison County millions of dollars, and my livelihood is at stake. The drone sees through the oak trees, a worthy innovation in 2025. It will take your breath away to know that the Madison County woods have now become a tense hunting ground between hunters and wild boars. The hunting team has discovered the first pack of wild boars of the hunt, with over 30 of them with fangs that would scare even bears, and start charging forward. You can feel their every step as if the ground is shaking even through the TV screen. Do you think like me that this wild boar must weigh 350 totals and be 6 years old? Agree. Please hit the like button to help me. In our command trailer, we moved to the boar trap site that a local welder and I had set up. It was a large 60-foot pen designed to close when the boars entered. However, nothing was certain. A surveillance camera at a wild boar trap, a Boar Watch 3000, began to malfunction as the signal was interrupted, the screen showing a blurry image. I quickly readjusted the antenna and checked the connection to make sure the signal was stable. After a few minutes, the device was back up and running and we were able to continue monitoring the boars through the camera, hoping the wild boar trap would work. I'm sure you've encountered this during your trapping process. So what's your solution? Let me know what you think. After fixing the device, we returned to the carefully set wild boar trap. This time I decided to use a natural bait of fresh corn and MSG mixed together, creating an attractive scent. However, out of the 30 hogs, one particularly agile hog evaded the wild boar trap, dashing out of the pen as soon as the door closed. Although the trap had been set correctly, the hog with its agility had recognized the danger in time and escaped. I knew this was a failure and a reminder. In this war, even the best tactics cannot guarantee 100% success. As the sun dipped below the Tennessee hills, we caught our breath. That steel pen held 29 wild hogs, ready for the Tennessee wildlife crew to relocate them tomorrow. We had made it, and the Madison County farms were safe, at least for now. But I couldn't shake the image of the leader of the pack, the escaped boar. There it was, a king of the wild too clever for our trick. As we look back, we are filled with pride. Wild hogs cause $2 billion, 0 cents in damage to agriculture each year across 35 states. In the past year alone, Madison County lost millions of dollars to their destruction of its cornfields and irrigation systems. But today, with the tireless efforts of our hunters, we have significantly reduced the damage to this community. In Florida, residents report frequently seeing monkeys on the streets, particularly in the central part of the state. According to statistics, there were up to 300 traffic collisions involving monkeys in 2012. In addition to causing disruptions for drivers, monkeys also eat leftover food on the streets and from trash bins, leading to numerous environmental sanitation issues. The estimated damages caused by the presence of monkeys could reach up to $34,000 annually. The WFTV television station in Florida has reported extensively on this situation, reflecting residents' concerns about safety while traveling and their daily activities. In response to the serious situation of monkey attacks, the Florida government has implemented monkey hunting activities since 2018. The monkey population has decreased from 1 million to approximately 300,000 due to the government's control efforts. Hunting with firearms requires hunters to frequently update their information, as Florida's hunting policies often change. Those interested in monkey hunting can follow updates on the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission website. Hunters must comply with the requirements outlined in their permits. Violations can result in fines of up to $1,000. The minimum fine for minor violations is $200. Non-compliance with regulations can lead to the revocation of permits and other penalties, impacting future hunting opportunities. Therefore, hunters should pay close attention to these regulations. In the process of hunting monkeys, the Florida government has implemented a policy of using wire cage traps as an effective measure. The use of these traps is not too strict for hunters, because they are easy to use and can be placed at forest entrances, as well as near residential areas. According to the government's report, up to 50 monkeys can be caught in one day in one set. Floridians will be prohibited from using traps that cause injury to animals or humans, such as spring traps or wire traps. Instead, they will be allowed to use wire traps, which are safe and effective for catching monkeys. Residents should carefully read the regulations regarding the use of traps to ensure that the traps they choose are licensed by the government. The traps that are allowed for monkey hunting in Florida allow hunters to set them up quickly and alone in 15 to 30 minutes. These traps are convenient and easy for one person to set up without assistance. The design of the traps often allows for easy disassembly and relocation to different locations. The traps remain functional in bad weather, optimizing the effectiveness of catching monkeys over multiple trapping sessions. Inside the traps, bait is often placed to increase the effectiveness of capturing monkeys by up to 3 times. Bananas, in particular, are a favored food for monkeys, making them highly attracted to the traps. The bait is placed right next to the trigger mechanism, so when the monkeys step on it, the trap door will automatically close. Floridians are very creative in designing different types of traps. Some traps are operated by collapsing from above, and most of them work well. In Florida, wire cage traps are still the most popular because they last longer than wooden traps. Meanwhile, Georgia and Texas favor wooden or spring-loaded traps, which are simple in design and easy to use. After the hunting and trapping activities are over, the Florida government requires hunters to be responsible for collecting and reporting the results to the authorities. Got a Boar story or a clever trick? Drop it in the comments. Hit subscribe to Mousefarm and ring that bell to stand with us in defending our land and legacy.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.